Morning, Joe.
Hey.
So it's been a few weeks since we last spoke. We went over a lot of bits and pieces. Do you want to start by giving me an update on what's been happening for you?
Yeah, and I want to tell you, I'm not mad at you. All right. I know how much you've helped me, but everything that we talked about in the last meeting, I'm thinking that bankruptcy is going to be the best thing.
Okay.
And I like looking at all this and realizing that COVID, once again, they tell me I don't have to pay taxes. I don't have to, I don't have to do all these things. Keep your business open. We got to keep everybody going. Keep everybody going during COVID. But then, we turn around 3 years later and I got to pay it all back. Yeah. So not just the monthly stuff, but all the stuff that accumulated. So great. So now, like I told you before, I'm living at my parents' house. Awesome. I'm a grown person. I'm a mechanic, but I don't have a car, right? I don't have a car and I'm a mechanic. Yeah. So, I'm over all of this. Yeah. So let's go over how I can just get this behind me and just be done with all this. It's ridiculous. So again, I'm not mad at you. I'm not. I'm just, this whole thing, they tell you all this stuff and then they turn around and it's not that. It's not, the people that configure, their friends, all of their friends, they got all the money. They got all the help, seriously. But I just needed to say a few things, and I'm grateful that you're listening because everybody else is tired of listening to me, and I'm ready to be done with this. So what do we do first?
Joe, I just want to check, have you got any support, as in, a counsellor, a therapist? Are you able to access that type of support? Because I could feel like you're angry, you're disappointed, and you've had enough. I think your cup is full. Yeah,
it is full.
Have you got anyone you can a professional person, not a family or a friend?
Well, I think I've talked to everybody enough. My mom, she definitely wants me out of the house, but I can't go until I get this stuff figured out. So, if maybe I can look into that. Let's get these numbers figured out, and then I think that I can wrap my head around next steps better.
Absolutely. I'll send you an email with some information.
Okay.
So you've got it for later reference, just in case you do decide you want to pick the phone up.
Yeah,
and chat with somebody. We've got free services here. As I said, we've got that free counselling service here. So I just want to make sure you know that you'd be more than welcome, and I can chat with one of our counsellors at any point in time, because you're under immense pressure, and you've been under that pressure for several years now.
Yeah, my friends are making fun of me because I lost my business. The last thing I need is, you're going to a shrink too. So
I'll give you the information, but we'll move on with what you want to do, which is figuring out this mess for you.
Yeah. Let's do that. I'm not upset with you. I'm not.
But you're allowed to be upset.
Yeah.
You can be upset, and you're allowed to be angry.
Yeah.
So
I am.
Yeah.
I am angry. I am.
All I can say is, there are so many small businesses going through what you've been going through since COVID. When they said you don't have to pay your taxes, you can put a hold on your commercial rents. Some people stopped paying their mortgages. And unfortunately, this has led down to a path that many small businesses are down now, where they just couldn't recover.
Yeah, this is the clothes on my back and this phone. That's about all I own now. Yeah. I had a successful business before COVID.
Yeah.
Excuse me? Like some, disease comes through and I lose everything?
Yeah.
Everything. Everything.
Joe, you will come back from this. Not today, not tomorrow, but you will come back from this.
Okay.
When we talked about bankruptcy, I provided you a booklet called Fresh Start. On the screen, you'll see a fresh start. This is a tool I send to my clients so they can get an introduction to bankruptcy. It doesn't put them off looking at that as a fair and viable option, but it does just give them a feel for what the bankruptcy means for them and how it could possibly help them move forward in their life. Have that handy there to send to your clients, so that way before you go into an involved session around all the ins and outs of bankruptcy, they've already got an idea of what the possibilities are for them moving forward. So that booklet gives you an idea that you can have a financial reset after bankruptcy.
Okay.
You can have a financial life after bankruptcy. You are able to lend again. Once you're discharged, you are able to go into home ownership. Bankruptcy is not the big dark looming cloud it once was for people. It has been changed, and new laws have come into play over the years to make it a viable option for people just like you going through what you're going through.
Okay.
So would you like us to go through the bits and pieces you need to know regarding bankruptcy?
Yeah.
Now, I've got a document I'm going to use. I'm just going to find it here in my little toolkit here. Okay. So this is a checklist. So this is a rough, I'll cover everything. But I want you to know that I'll be sending you some links to find out some of your own information as well. There are a few bits and pieces regarding bankruptcy, and you should always get independent advice before you make this type of a move. All right, Joe. So advantages and disadvantages. So let's start with the advantages. That fresh start we talked about, and I'll just jot that down. The fresh start. And did you find that booklet helpful?
Yeah. I did, and you know, I think a lot of this, it wouldn't have accumulated. I paid all my bills on time before COVID, and I had everything set and I had everything organized. The problem was when everything was shut and I had to get rid of people, I'm trying to do all the work myself, and I couldn't keep up. I could not, or no one was bringing their cars to me. So that's my work. People work from home and they don't have any repairs on their cars.
Yes, I
so
see. Yeah,
they fill up their tank once a month and they don't get oil changes. They don't do any of those things. Yeah. So it had nothing to do with, I know how to run a business. I know how to do all those things, but no one's coming and the government tells them, don't do anything. That means I don't do anything, you know? So yeah, I think knowing that, even though it wasn't my fault, and if I want to do it again, I'm allowed. Yes. Once I get through all this. That's what that booklet helped me realize.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And Joe, let me say, I've been doing this a long time, and I have had a lot of small businesses on that side of the table, and I can honestly say that I can't think of a single one who it was their actions and totally their fault, or they could shoulder the blame for their business not working. Health, well, COVID. There are so many unforeseen things. Sometimes it's a marriage separation. The form you can see with me on the screen now is the bankruptcy checklist. You'll all receive a bankruptcy toolkit, which is provided under a link with Financial Australia's big toolkit, which will be something that you use information for every day in your service. You need to go through this checklist with each client for that session to make sure they know the ins and outs of bankruptcy, and then they can't come back later and say that there was something they were unaware of. While you're going through that checklist, make sure you provide them with other information and links, and ensure that they do their own research regarding their own bankruptcy, and that you don't have to worry about anything you may have forgotten, because it'll be there in the checklist for you. So many things impact people's businesses and business viability that they have no control over.
Yeah.
So it's important that you recognise that whatever you've done the best you could.
Yeah.
And you're in a situation now where we need to release some of that pressure from you and ensure you can look forward.
Yeah.
Not backwards.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to be done with this.
Yeah. Well, how about we go through the checklist and we'll go through the bits and pieces that you need to know. So we'll just go straight down to, now you were a PTY LTD.
Yeah.
So now what we can look at there is we've had a look at your statement of financial position. If your client's business is still operating, you'll see another form up next to me now, which is from the Small Business Development Corporation, which is a list of operational expenses for the small business. It is very simple and easy to fill out, as long as you ensure that it's weekly, fortnightly, or monthly, quarterly, or even yearly. Under each of those amounts, you use the one form that you're able to calculate all the costs of running the business, including taxation obligations, which gives you a clear idea of what the net income is for the business. That net income then goes into the personal statement of financial position, because that's the money that your clients will use to manage their day-to-day household affairs. Now, I can see that here in your financials, we've got about $2.3 million worth of liabilities here. Mm-hmm. So keeping that in mind, I'll have a chat with you about the ATO separately. I just don't want them taking any legal action while you're going through this part of the process. So let's go into, are you eligible for bankruptcy? So yes, you were born in Australia, we know that. We know that all your debts are now yours. There's nothing remaining under the company. There were two things I needed to cover with you. Now, I believe you've got a sticker machine and a printer machine that you've got in storage.
Yeah.
And I think there's a forklift that somebody's got in their yard.
Yeah.
So those things are still under the finance company.
Oh.
So I want to be sure that we've managed those before we go forward with the bankruptcy process, because if it's not a debt that's been liquidated, it could mean that you'll still be liable. So
okay.
What you do, and I'm going to send you an email about this, but
okay.
what should happen, and you already filled out the authorities last session regarding those finance companies, is they'll agree to allow you to sell those, and you'll repay whatever you can that's owed.
Okay. Yeah, I forgot. Oh man, I forgot all about those. Yeah.
But otherwise, considering that you don't own anything else, that puts you in a position of power.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Because
okay.
you feel like I've lost everything. But regarding the bankruptcy, other than earnings, nothing can go over to the trustee. So you've got nothing to lose.
Okay.
Per se.
Okay.
So that makes this a really good option for you.
Okay. Yeah. So, perfect.
Great. All right. Now
that you put it that way, it makes it better. It's a clean slate because I'm doing the right thing.
I think the big part is you've got to do the right thing for you.
Yeah. I want to be done with this. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So we've already gone through your debt, so we know you don't owe anything to child support, you don't owe anything to Centrelink, and I know you didn't get any director's penalties. So again, that's another example of you did all the right thing.
Yeah.
It just didn't work out.
Right.
So let's go with how long bankruptcy goes for. So bankruptcy is 3 years and 1 day, unless you don't follow the rules. So that you've got to keep your trustee up to date about your information, where you are, what your earnings are. Your trustee may ask to see bank accounts during that 3 years and 1 day. They might want to see proof of income. Now, I'll send you through a document called Indexed Amounts. On the screen now, you'll see Indexed Amounts. Indexed Amounts gives the client a clear view on how much they can earn, what they can own, what they can borrow, and the financial ins and outs that involve the relationship between the bankrupt and the trustee. Do not save this document and put it in a file. When you provide an indexed amount document for your client, go onto the FCAWA website and download the current copy. Indexed amounts are updated twice each year. So if you put one of the documents for indexed amounts in a file and then pull it out 6 months later to send to your client, you might find it's no longer current. The indexed amounts will show you how much you can earn, what you can save, what car you can get when you're back on top, so that way you can be aware of any concerns regarding earnings. And once you earn a certain point, you've got to make contributions back. We've got a calculator that I can go into that in more depth. I just want to give you an idea about the obligations and how the certain debts we managed under your bankruptcy.
Okay, so I mean, so someone told me that I can't earn any money, but I can earn money, and if I earn over a certain amount, then I've got to pay a little bit extra, or I have to pay, based on their calculations.
That's correct.
Okay.
So it's not dollar for dollar to start with. We'll have to. I will refer back to the indexed amounts to give you those exact figures.
Okay.
But it clearly states if you've got no dependents, how much you can earn.
Okay.
And children, anyone that earns under a certain amount, even if it's an adult, is considered a dependent.
Okay.
So there's a detailed part to that, which is why it's important that you do seek independent information.
Yeah.
And you go over the additional information that I send through.
Yeah.
Because I can give you an idea of bankruptcy and explain the bits and pieces which we'll go through, but really you've got to do your own due diligence and make sure you're getting the right information. And
I'm getting the right information from you.
You are. I won't give you the incorrect information.
Right.
But you still need to do your own research and speak to your own third party and make sure you're getting independent information other than me too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've just been hearing crazy stuff.
I know, and I'll send you that resource list through, which will have some of those options regarding what legal options you can get information on. On the screen next to me, you'll see commercial, legal and support options. Financial counsellors do the best we can to provide quality information for our clients. However, it's important they are able to go off and look at what other options they've got, and that could include legal advice. Now, some of your clients could have their own lawyers, but many may not. This is a form that's been made up with all the current legal options at the time that they can contact that will do an individual or a small business. Each one listed shows the target group or the type of client that might benefit from that information, and then if you email that to your client, they're able to be sure that they've had that third party or professional input before they make any final decisions. Yeah, everything is definitely a bit old, but I'm there to provide you with the resources you need so that you can get that extra information as you go along.
Yeah, the stuff that you've sent so far it's very clear and simple, and I wish I had it a year ago.
I know.
Right, but it's today, just like you're saying.
Forward, we're not looking back.
Right.
Because forward's where it is for you.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I'm just checking at the moment there's no legal proceedings pending for you in any way. You've not received any legal notices since we last spoke.
No, I've been at my parents for a number of months, and they know my address, and I would have brought it. I'm not hiding anything.
Oh no, of course not.
I don't think, but I'm not. Just so you know, I'm not hiding anything.
No, that's okay. And there, certain things can happen regarding a bankruptcy. So if you're not honest and clear with your trustee about earnings and things like that, they can actually extend the term of your bankruptcy for several more years.
Oh, okay.
Depending on.
Yeah.
So 3 years and 1 day can turn into 6 years if they decide to penalise you.
Right.
So you'll receive all the information about the expectations, and my door's always open.
Right.
So even after this part is finished, you can still come back and say, got this letter from the trustee, or well, it's been 3 years and 1 day, what now? So you can come back to my service at any time, even though we've already done, even after we've finished this part, for information if there's anything that concerns you. My support doesn't just stop because you filed and you're done.
Well, I'm going to send you a Christmas present.
No gifts. No, you looking forward in your life and recovering is all I need. I'm very lucky. We're state funded and I get a paycheck every fortnight for my job, and I can tell you now, I do it for free.
You need a raise. Yeah, you need a raise. That's
no gifts for me. Focus on you.
All right.
All right. So we know we've got no fines. Now the property that is protected, which is the property that stays with you, will be your clothes, your household items, your laptop, your personal jewellery, rings, things like that. Any of your superannuation that you've built up, that's protected while it's in the superannuation fund. So you've got, so anything that you've got in a bank account in savings, and you did tell me you didn't have anything. But if you accumulate an amount of savings, it's important you let the trustee know that.
Okay.
So they can decide if it's a particular amount that they'll need to divide amongst creditors. So there's things that I want you to list every single, because we've got the $2.3 million worth of debt. I want you to list every single debt on that bankruptcy. We don't want to miss anybody out. Now, having said that, if there's a debt that you didn't list, as long as the debt was incurred before the bankruptcy was filed, that'll be included.
Okay.
So it's debts that aren't included after the bankruptcy, but a part of that being transparent and providing correct information, you do need to list all the debts.
Okay.
So, and we've got a big list we've put together. So we've got plenty in there. So now we don't have to worry about any of the other debts or properties in your case. Again, that puts you in a position of strength. Okay, so there are several types of employment that you can't go into while bankrupt, and I'm going to send you that list to your email. You'll see on the screen with me a list of careers or professions that may be impacted by going bankrupt. There's also a tool available on the AFSA website. I'm going to go for it, Australian Security Financial Authority, and the AFSA website can actually allow the client to click on the tool and go through the steps to see if they could be one of those people that are affected. Both the list and the tool will cover employment. So ensure your client gets one or both to be sure that if they go forward with their bankruptcy and file, that their employment or their career or their profession isn't put at risk. So that way, if you decide you want to be an electrician, you can't have an electrician's license. You can't be a police officer. So there's several things, tax agents, things like that. But I'll send you the list just so you're aware before you proceed that there are certain limitations on your employment. So now, look, I've not seen it, but we're just going to talk travel now. You can travel anywhere within Australia that you want to, no problem. You can also travel overseas, but there's a couple of caveats there. So the first one is, I've not seen it, but they may request your passport. So that could be in cases where you might be considered a flight risk to leave the country. There's probably other reasons I don't know of. Again, I haven't seen it happen. I don't see it happening in your situation, but I know that...
I don't have any money to go anywhere, so and there's no one I'm going to visit, so that's...
Let's say you win a holiday on a radio station. So you're listening to 6PR and you win a holiday to the Bahamas. Now you're allowed to take that holiday. Yes, you are.
Maybe I'll start calling.
Well, maybe you might need a holiday, Joe. So what happens is you contact your trustee. It's a $150 fee, and you say, I'm taking a holiday. I'm off to wherever you're going to. I'm flying out here. I'll be going to these locations and I'll be returning to Australia here. So your trustee knows where you're going, how long you're going to be gone. They'll provide you with a document Now, you to keep that document with your passport, because when you re-enter Australia, they may request that document from you.
Oh, okay.
So you can show them that you're coming in and out of Australia with your trustee's permission.
Okay.
So just keep that document as if it's most important with your passport, and then you'll be absolutely fine. Otherwise, travel anywhere in Australia is fine. And remember, this is only for the 3 years and 1 day, or for the length of the bankruptcy.
Okay.
Once that's finished, then you're discharged, then life goes back to normal.
Simple as.
Yeah. So we've got all those there. So we've talked about the income contributions, and I'll send you that indexed amount sheet which has those income amounts, so you can see where you'll sit. Let's have a look. Now, anyone that's contacting you in the meantime, you can inform them that you're considering bankruptcy as an option. If you like, I can actually draft you an email that explains the situation that you're going through with the service, so you could just send those off to some of your creditors.
Yeah, that would be excellent.
Yeah.
It's just that language and that kind of thing, and just, I don't know how to say it,
No one likes jargon except people that use jargon.
Right. Yeah, that's right, Colleen. So, yeah, send me that, and then...
All right, and then you've got something you can flick off to your creditors.
Sure.
I won't put any of the creditors' names in there. It'll just be a broad email stating that this is the situation, there's no capacity, you're seeing a financial counsellor, and at this stage you're looking at bankruptcy as an option.
Okay, yeah, that's great. So, look, I don't mind yelling back at somebody, but if I can just send something and be done, and that for at least the time being, that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
So now, just want to focus on some of the things about bankruptcy that could cause you an issue during that process. So bankruptcy, your name stays on an index. Now, laws about the timeframes for that index has recently changed, and I'll provide you with that information. It used to be life and beyond.
Oh, wow.
But not anymore.
Okay.
So I can't recall right at this moment in time how long they've changed it to, but it now has a set time frame. I'll send that through to you. You won't see a form for this one, but I just want to address the 3 years and 1 day of bankruptcy. Now, commonly, that's how long a bankruptcy will last, but it's important we remember that there are certain things that can occur during a bankruptcy where a trustee can extend the length of that bankruptcy anywhere up to 8 years. What you can do is provide the links to the AFSA website for your client, or while your client's with you, go through them on the computer, showing that you're looking at all those things that could go wrong and why a bankruptcy could be extended. Please ensure that you note on your file notes that you've made the client aware of this. That way you can be sure if there's an issue with their bankruptcy, you've already noted that that was explained to the client. Now, the other thing we'll need to do is, I know you can't come backwards and forwards. I know you're down south and it's a big task to get here without a car.
Yeah.
I'll need to contact the ATO to let them know what's happening, to ensure that you don't need to worry about having any further legal action that side of the fence while you're working through this. Could I possibly get you to fill out an authority? It's a specific authority only for the ATO. Would you be okay with that?
I would.
Right, let's fill out that authority now. You'll see the change of details for individuals form up, which is actually just a fancy way of saying authority for the ATO. So I will always recommend, where possible, have the client come in and watch you interact with the ATO over the phone. If for many reasons that's not going to happen, they can sign an authority where that allows you to contact the ATO when your client isn't present. You will have an email address to email this form and any documentation that you need to put through to the ATO to ensure that you're able to communicate with them openly while the client's not present. There's only particular sections of the form you need to address, so have a read through and make sure the appropriate sections have been filled out to make your job a lot easier and get the best outcome for your client. All right, fabulous.
It's a good time to be bankrupt.
Well, for you, I think it could be. I think it could be.
Right.
I think you're going to feel a lot better.
Yeah.
So now, let's just go back now. So I want to talk about rented houses, because I know you're currently living with your parents. utility bills and things like that. So a lot of rental agreements will ask, or a lot of not rental agreements, rental applications, sorry,
Okay.
will ask, have you been bankrupt or are you currently bankrupt? You've got to say that you are.
Okay.
Okay. It's the same with utilities, gas, electric. They may say, have you been bankrupt? Some may request that you have to put a bond on your electricity or gas accounts, or possibly water, depending on if the water's going to be in your name. Now, again, my service can provide you with a letter explaining the circumstances around the bankruptcy, that you've gone through all the options with a professional financial counsellor, and the service has supported you with your choices.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That way, I know I've done this for clients in the past.
Yeah.
So when they've put a rental application through, they've been able to provide a letter from the service of support to say that it's got nothing to do with your ability to manage money, your intelligence, or your ability to prioritise.
Right.
It was circumstances beyond your control.
Right. Okay.
We don't want that stigma becoming an issue for you going forward.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Now, lending money while bankrupt, there's a limitation to how much you can lend while you're a bankrupt before you have to, by law, declare that you are a bankrupt.
Okay.
That information is also on those indexed amounts that I'll send you.
Okay.
And following the rules of bankruptcy will mean a seamless experience for you.
Yeah, so that index file that you're going to send me, it tells me like those limits.
Yep, vehicle limits, income limits, lending limits, all those types of bits and pieces. If you come into, let's say you win the lottery, you'll have to let your trustee know.
Keep talking, Colleen.
Yeah. Joe, I would love to get an email from you telling me, Colleen, I've won the lotto.
Woo!
I would love that.
Yeah.
But you do need to let your trustee know.
Yeah.
Because that money will have to go to the trustee. Hopefully you win the big one and you won't even notice what the trustee's got. You could go off to that Bahamas holiday on your own without the radio station.
Right. So if I could pay it off, does that end the bankruptcy?
So no, because once you file for bankruptcy, you are bankrupt. Now, when it comes to if you want to get the bankruptcy annulled, I'm not going to provide information about how that works because that's not something I'm familiar with or something I've had experience in. However, that list of resources I'm going to send you will give you options to ask questions. And of course, AFSA, which is the Australian Security Financial Authority, can answer questions for you as well.
Okay.
So,
I mean, winning the lottery is probably not going to happen.
No. But if you come into an inheritance,
okay.
If you get a windfall of some kind of description, it's important to let your trustee know.
Okay.
So we just want to be sure that, basically, I say to people, if something changes, tell your trustee.
Yeah.
If you move house, tell your trustee.
Yeah.
Phone number. If something happens financially, start a new job, tell the trustee.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
It is what it is. And it does give me a fresh start.
Yes.
Even though there's some communication that needs to happen in the next couple of years, that's better than just sitting here and, having nothing. It allows me some wiggle room to live my life and then, start building up to what I was before. So hopefully there won't be another COVID in my lifetime.
Well, I don't know. I certainly hope not.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Well, one thing I can say is for the 3 years and 1 day, following the rules will bring that release for you. If not, it can extend this part of your life.
Yeah.
So, just keep to those rules.
Yeah.
Do your homework. I've covered most of the situations regarding your personal example regarding bankruptcy. So they're all the things that you'll need to know, but you've got to go away and have some conversations, have a look at some of the information I'm going to send through before you're ready to roll.
Yeah.
Now let me know how you go with the two is it the printing machine, the sticker machine, and the forklift?
The forklift,
because those have to be dealt with before you move forward.
Yeah.
So now remember, anything that's concerning you or you're not sure, flick me an email, or if you want me to ring you, just say, can you ring me, and I'll let you know when my next availability is, and I'll just say, yep, I can call you at 3 o'clock this afternoon, is that okay?
Yeah.
Then we can have a chat on the phone, because sometimes emails aren't enough.
So yours, is that the private number that comes through, or is it your actual number?
So if I'm in the office, you'll have the 444 number like you normally see.
Okay.
If I'm not in the office, I'll let you know if I'm going to call you from a private number.
Okay.
And what time it'll be.
Okay.
That way you'll know that it's me.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Yeah, look I'm one of my biggest problems was that no one was telling me anything. No one was clear. And this is lined up, and I understand. I know what I'm supposed to do. And I know how to move forward. And this is this is our second appointment. We've got all the information that I need, and now I can see very clearly what's next.
That's exactly, that means I'm doing my job.
Yeah.
That's what that tells me.
Do you see my shoulders?
Look
at the weight just floated off.
That's why I'm here. You're the reason why I get up in the morning.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I want to do with my day.
Yeah.
Now, can I just remind you, when we were talking about all the information and all the things that people come to you with, don't go on Google and just use the links I'm sending you that are from the FCAWA website. The documents I give you are from the FCAWA website. ASFA is government regulated, the be all and end all for bankruptcy in our country. That's the information I want you to have a look at. There's a lot of misinformation out there.
Yeah.
So the links I give you and the resources I give you to follow up regarding legal advice, checking to make sure you're good to go. There's no remnants of the company you've got to be concerned about. They're the resources that I'll send you for you to do your part of the work.
Okay.
And that's
all I got is time right now, so.
And remember, questions, concerns, let me know.
I will.
Now, do you have anything else for me today, or anything that we haven't managed at this point in time?
No, I'm going to review everything that you're going to email me, and I know what I've got to do. Yeah, that's what I wanted to know. I wanted, what do I do next? And now I've got it. This is excellent. Thank you.
Jo, it is a pleasure. Thank you so much.